Hey there, and welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's News and Talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other questions, go ahead and leave an open mic inside the WDBO app. You can also check out the website at refreshcomputers.net or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, David and Adam.
All right. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, everybody, for listening to yet another edition of Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. I'm David Leavitt, the owner and founder of Refresh Computers. We've been around for over 25 years right here in Central Florida, taking care of thousands and thousands of people's computers and laptops and selling the computers and laptops to, I don't remember. I have to look up, Adam, how many customers we've waited on over the years. It's in the hundreds, thousand, I think, since going back 25 years ago. It's incredible. Maybe not hundreds of thousands, maybe tens and tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Probably getting close to 100,000.
I think it's close to 100,000. That's why that popped in my mind.
We need to get the McDonald's million served bowl.
That's right. There you go. And today we got an interesting show, as is the case with most of our shows, and that is the fact that, Microsoft, Adam, your notes here, and thanks for putting this together again for us. Your notes here says, Microsoft stops forced updates, and I'd like to amend that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Microsoft stopped secret updates.
Yeah, Microsoft's been doing just a bunch of background updates lately that are, I used to see that they would do really basic driver updates in the background like that. Very simple things that would never impact your system, but there have actually been a couple large Windows updates that they've just pushed themselves. They've downloaded, installed, and just integrated themselves into your operating system, never requiring you to even say, I want to do this. And I've kind of seen it starting to cause a lot of issues with a lot of older systems now.
Yeah, and so what's really odd to me is I didn't know that they were even doing these secret updates. So, it's not like they're trying to get something over on you. It's just the fact that they probably considered it things were kind of minor, so let's just go ahead and throw this update out there.
Kind of make it convenient.
Yeah, the users don't even know what's going on, and I didn't even know they were doing that. So that's a learning thing for me. But when they started, I guess they started with the simple things, like you said, little driver update here, update there, and then they escalated that to more major kinds of updates without you knowing that your computer or laptop was being updated with with your Windows 11, and you also, I see your notes here saying that some users were complaining that they just not secretly because it happened, and then boom, it's like without warning, they went from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Yeah, and while we encourage you to go to Windows 11.
You should have a choice to be able to do it at least, though.
But you should have a choice, and it just popped up. And I don't know if you remember this, but when Windows 11 first came out, and Microsoft, they have been giving free upgrades to Windows 11 all along, as long as your computer is able to accept Windows 11. But when it first came out, it was also doing the same thing. Yeah. It was to a lot of customers. Customers were bringing their laptops and computers in the stores like, I woke up this morning and I have Windows 11. I don't want Windows 11. It just loaded and it just updated. And so give me my Windows 10 back. So, we helped several customers roll back to Windows 10.
And that's the good thing, too, is Windows at least gives you a 10-day period normally where you can roll back the version from 11 to 10 if you get stuck in that scenario. But I don't even think you should get stuck in that scenario in the first place. You should have kind of the choice if you want to upgrade to Windows 11, and kind of forcing it has confused a lot of our customers too.
Right. I mean, and not to be too confusing also, but you should probably upgrade to Windows 11 if you haven't upgraded by now. And if your computer is still upgradable. So if you're not sure if your computer is upgradable, give us a call. We get calls every day now about this, right? Call us at 407-478-8200, and we'll be able to tell you if your computer is upgradable or not. And if it is, we'll encourage you to do it. It's a free upgrade, and I can't stress enough, it's free now.
Yeah.
It may not be free come October when you have to have it.
Yeah, and that kind of follows Microsoft's pattern too, is that
Yes.
after you're outside the support period, that's when they say, well, now you have to pay $60 to upgrade to 11.
That's what they did with 10.
Yeah.
So you have to, get that free upgrade while you can. And again, if you're not sure, give us a call. We're there for that. We want you to get the free upgrade, and we don't want it to cost you a penny.
Yeah.
Give us a call, 407-478-8200. And if by chance your computer does not pass the technical requirements to upgrade to Windows 11, we would hope that you would consider one of our quality refurbished Windows 11 laptops or computers that start at about $199.
Yeah.
We'll get into those deals a little later on in the show. So anyway, why does it matter that Microsoft would update your computer
Without telling you?
Without telling you.
Yeah.
It matters because it also sometimes it breaks some drivers. It breaks some things that you want it to work. There's some manufacturers that make their products are specific to the version of Windows that you're running. And so if you upgrade your Windows either from 10 to 11, or if your Windows 11 just does this secret upgrade, which Microsoft has done away with, right? They're not doing that anymore. But if your computer does this upgrade, it could interrupt some of the drivers and cause issues.
It can, yeah. And I've actually seen a couple scenarios with some of our business partners where they call us and say, hey, I have this network shared drive that all of my employees were able to access, and now it's asking for a password. And actually come to find out there was a Windows 11 update that requires, if you have a network shared drive, every computer connecting to it has to have a password on it. Never told anybody that, but just one day it updated someone's computer, and everyone's computer had to upgrade in order to be working together again.
So this would be mostly like in an office environment, really, with Windows 10 or Windows 11 Pro.
Yes.
Pro users, of course, because they're the ones that's networking all their computers together.
Yeah. But it's just something simple like that can change, and all of a sudden everything just comes to a screeching halt. And I don't know if Microsoft is starting to see the light of that now, where these little updates that they thought weren't so major are kind of throwing a wrench in a lot of people's day-to-day work.
So just to be very clear, Microsoft was until very recently secretly doing updates to your computer or your laptop in Windows 11.
Yes.
Right? Not necessarily Windows 10. Maybe some Windows 10 ones also.
I think there was a recent update that caught a lot of the limelight. That was a Windows 10 and a Windows 11 upgrade, and it was a little security upgrade. But it did cause a lot of issues for people on Windows 10 now.
So now they're not just doing it.
Yes.
Basically.
No, they've basically got caught red-handed and said, okay, we're gonna roll back and stop doing this.
And I don't think it was malicious on their part.
I don't think so either.
No,
I think it was more for just
ease.
the idea of
they
ease.
They just thought it would be, convenient.
Exactly.
Right? To have these updates without you knowing it. But it's not what a lot of people complain. So it's not something that a lot of people want. They want to know when their computer or laptop's being updated. They want to know what's in the update.
Yeah.
They want some warning. And so if you have automatic updates turned on, right? Because you can turn on automatic updates.
Yeah, and even still with the automatic updates, is you still do get a prompt that when you go to restart, for example, to install them, you get that update and restart. Whereas before with these stealth ones, that wasn't even appearing.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to make clear, because if you have automatic updates turned on like I do, I still see a prompt. It doesn't really just automatically update. I still have to say, okay, update and restart or update and shut down.
Yeah.
Right?
You still kind of get a choice with it at that point.
So that's really cool. So it's important to update, though. We can't.
It is.
We can't stress that enough.
As bad as it is, Microsoft, to be updating things behind your back, it is very important to keep up to date on your operating system.
And, years ago, we used to tell people, hold off on updating.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because, don't be the guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because of all the security updates, of all the necessary, unfortunately necessary updates, I'll get it out, that have to do with security, you need to make sure you upgrade when there's an update available, because 9 out of 10 of these updates have to do with security.
Yeah. And as fast as Microsoft can push them out, there's always going to be somebody out there that's looking for the next best vulnerability that Microsoft will have to patch out next. That's a big reason why, with the support of Windows 10 being dropped, it is important to look towards updating to Windows 11, because if you lose those security updates, you're going to be much more vulnerable on Windows 10 once that support is dropped by Microsoft.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about people that have to update to Windows 11 and they need a new machine to do that because their old machine's not updatable.
Not capable. Yeah.
And, and again, pay attention. A little later in the show, we got some really good deals to upgrade. Hopefully you won't have to upgrade your device, but if you do, hope you consider Refresh Computers for that, for, really good quality refurbished computers. But what do you do with your old computer?
Yeah, that's the biggest question right now, is any computer that can't update. I've heard my customers say all the time, it's just going to be a glorified boat anchor.
Well, yeah, and hopefully it doesn't get thrown out in the ocean or
exactly.
something as a boat anchor or anything else. But I just wanted to bring up the point that at Refresh Computers, we responsibly recycle older computers and laptops. And, whether it's the machine that you bring in so we can transfer all of your data to the new machine that you buy from Refresh Computers, or maybe it's a stack of computers or laptops you have in your garage you've accumulated over time, you can bring those to Refresh Computers for a free recycling. We have a really good recycling program. We've been in this industry for so many years that recycling your computer at Refresh Computers is a good, you can feel good that it's a responsible thing for you to be able to do.
We've kind of seen just how e-waste comes over the years and how it has to be responsibly recycled. It can't just be thrown in a landfill or something because it's going to rot there for tens of thousands of years. And there's a lot of precious metals now in electronics that aren't going to be renewable.
That's a fact. And, things like laptop batteries, for example, lithium batteries. Lithium is a very recyclable byproduct of a laptop battery, is that, and we deal with the people that actually do the recycling of those. And so we can, where we send them, and, it's literally taking the batteries apart, extracting the lithium out of them. It's reusable. Yeah. It's a very reusable product. So, that's why, doing response, don't just throw it in the trash. And, or,
that battery will get stuck in a trash compactor, and it'll be a light show that nobody wants to deal with.
And that's another thing about, laptop batteries is, we have people bringing their laptops all the time, right? When the batteries are swollen.
I call them spicy pillows.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a pillow. It looks like a pillow. Happens a lot in MacBooks, right?
Yes, MacBooks are almost the worst I've seen for doing that.
Probably more than any other laptop or the MacBooks. But anyhow, so, stay tuned. We got more to talk about here right after this coming break. We'll be talking a little bit more about Windows 10 and Windows 11 upgrades. We'll be right back.
If you've got any other questions about how to properly recycle your products, go ahead and give the tech support hotline a call at 407-478-8200. You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline, 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments, go ahead and leave an open mic using the WDBO app. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. In the previous segment, we were talking about how Microsoft has been secretly doing updates to your computers.
Yeah.
And then they recently stopped secretly doing that because they got caught, or I don't know if that's the right term to use, because I don't know that they even thought it was anything wrong they were doing. They
weren't hiding anything, but they weren't exactly making it obvious either.
So when was like the last secret update they did?
I think that was only a couple days ago. I want to say maybe about 5 days ago. They were doing just one secret update, and that is what caught a lot of attention of the tech world. There were a lot of articles that came out about it.
Because maybe it caused a little bit of some issues, right?
It could have, yeah, there's a chance it did.
And so that, brought it out in the forefront. So they had been doing this for how long now?
My best guess, just from the research I was finding, was about the past 3 months or so. They've been doing just little updates here and there that were in the background, didn't require your input, but were updates that kind of should have.
So just to, be clear, when they do so they stopped that.
Yes, they
don't
did.
do it anymore. But typically when you are doing an update to your Windows, even if you have automatic updates turned on, you're still prompted. There's a prompt that says shut down an update,
exactly,
or reboot an update. So at least you still had some control and you knew there was an update happening. So, but over the last few months, up until a few days ago, they were just doing these updates. You didn't have to click anything. You didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, and it actually created a lot of confusion, because with the computer just updating itself over and over, and these new issues that might arise on the software side because of the updates, to a regular user, you have no idea what's going on because you were never prompted to do an update.
Have you noticed people coming in between that time frame, April till about just here at the beginning of July, with maybe saying that I don't understand why my computer's running slower when I'm trying to maybe shut down or restart, or maybe any kind of not obvious issues like you're kind of mentioning. So it could be maybe a little bit of a side issue that maybe people didn't realize was going on.
Well, it's possible, and it's something we see all the time anyway, because of updates even people know about. Right? They'll bring it in and say all of a sudden something's not working. The printer, some special tool or equipment I have connected to my computer. Like if you're a garage, for example, and you have all these tools that connect to your computer and stuff, and they're very dependent on the version of Windows that you're using. And sometimes when it gets updated, it causes a glitch in that tool.
Or maybe not even the version of Windows, but just down to the driver updates that might have been going on in the background as well.
So we are talking about two different things here. So there's like, there's an update from Windows 10 to Windows 11, which is a completely separate topic, and that's not what we're discussing here. We're talking about the updates to the current system that you're using. So if you're using Windows 10 now, there are some secret updates that were going on. Windows 11, there were some secret updates that were going on, and Microsoft has stopped doing that.
Yeah, and internally, Microsoft calls those updates cumulative updates, because they're big packages that,
It's more than one thing.
Exactly,
updating.
yeah.
It's a host of things they've figured out over the last several weeks or whatever, what the time period is between the updates, and they just implemented them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But what they were doing in secret were this little onesie-twosie things, right, that they were just doing without you even knowing it was going on.
Yeah, and like we said before, it probably was just to try to create a little bit of ease of use for the machine. Right. You didn't have all these update prompts over and over every day, but me personally, I want to be prompted every day that my computer has an update. I don't want it just to do it.
And that's what they were doing, and I don't think it was malicious on Microsoft's part.
I don't think so either
whatsoever, but it was probably not very thoughtful. Somebody didn't think this through, when they decided it was okay to secretly update things on your computer. So, but don't forget, folks, Refresh Computers has Windows 11. So if you need to update to Windows 11, that's a whole different topic, but you should go ahead and do that if you can. If you're not sure if your computer is capable, give us a call at 407-478-8200, and we'll help you out over the phone.
You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO, 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO, 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments, go ahead and leave an open mic using the WDBO app. You can also check out the website at refreshcomputers.net or stop at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, that means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, back to David and Adam with some of the deals of this week.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. By the way, in the segment just before the news break, we were talking about Microsoft secretly doing some updates, and people weren't aware that updates were going on in their computers. And if you missed any of that or you want to hear the whole show again, you can do that by going to the Refresh Computers website at refreshcomputers.net and click on that podcast link. You can hear this show in its entirety without any commercials. It's about a 40-minute show. And you can also listen to previous episodes of Refresh Computers, going back almost 3 years now that we've been doing the podcast version. And if you want to recap any of these deals, that's another good place to go check that out. You can also go to our website and buy any of these deals that I'm going to speak about here coming up in just a few minutes by just going to refreshcomputers.net. And then you can search for any of these deals. You can buy it, and you can indicate you're going to pick them up right there at the store. You can ship them anywhere in the continental USA. And, just keep in mind, these are good quality refurbished computers. We've had whole shows on what it means to have a quality refurbished computer. They're better than new computers. And so here's some of the deals we have going on right now. We have the Lenovo ThinkPad X13 laptop. This is a really nice little laptop, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah, it is. It's a nice little 13-inch laptop. It's really good for travel.
Yeah. Fits in your backpack very easily. The power supply, because, the smaller the laptop, also the smaller the power supply. Because what's one of the issues you have when you travel with your laptop?
Is if you have this big honking power supply with it.
Where am I going to put the power supply? I don't want to put it on top of the laptop in my backpack because I might crack the screen or something with it because it's hard, Yeah. So the benefit of having a smaller laptop like this 13-inch is the fact that it typically has a smaller power supply.
I've heard when the brick gets too big, they make you put one of those anti-tripping things over it so that way people don't trip over your supply.
That's right. So this ThinkPad X13, 10th generation, not very old at all, Windows 11 Pro, 13.3-inch laptop, $299.99. It's a super deal. We've had this before, and it sells really well.
Yeah.
So we got some more in at $299.99. So maybe you want something a little bigger. We have a 14-inch laptop, which is also very popular. The Dell Latitude 5400. It's an i7 processor, and we sell a ton of these.
We do, yeah.
Right, Adam?
This is one of the harder ones for us to just keep available sometimes.
Keep in stock.
Yeah.
It has 16 gig of RAM, a brand new 256 gig solid state drive, just like most, if not all, of our computers and laptops. We put a brand new solid state drive in them. So this is one of the things that makes it like new, right? Yeah. So we have this Latitude 5400 14-inch i7 processor for $319.99. It's just a super deal for a quality laptop. And don't forget, on all of these laptops that I'm mentioning, and every laptop that we sell in the store, including the MacBooks that we sell, they come with a genuine manufacturer's power adapter. Why is that important, Adam?
Because that's where you get all of your power from the wall. That's a lot of power, and if something goes wrong with that, it hits the machine.
And because the knockoffs are so cheaply
Exactly.
made, too.
If you have a genuine one in one hand and a knockoff in the other, the weight difference alone can tell you which one's the genuine and which one's knockoff.
Exactly. So, well, I don't know how many times we've seen people bring in their laptop to get worked on. They bring in their power adapter, and it's like melted.
Yeah.
And it's because it's not the genuine manufacturer's power adapter.
No. I had one actually come in that was melted like that, and it was just ironic because the name on it, the third party name was Wagyu, and it really was turning into goo, that whole case of it.
Yeah.
Sounds like that one was predestined to melt.
It kind of sounded like it, yeah.
So anyway, so all of these laptops that we sell have the genuine manufacturer's power adapter. We've always done that. I've always insisted on doing that because I know better. I know not to sell a cheap knockoff power adapter. Why? Because I want your laptop that you buy from Refresh Computers to last as long as possible. Yep. Why? Because that's our reputation that's at stake. And so I give you the genuine manufacturer's laptop power adapter with every laptop that you buy at Refresh Computers because it's just a better thing to do.
Yeah, it's a forethought by the manufacturers too. If you were to get something directly from Dell or HP, you're not going to be getting a third-party charger from them. So why would we be giving that to you either? We want to hold up to the same standard.
Well, put it another way. If you happen to buy a brand new one and you happen to buy, I need a second adapter, so you buy a knockoff, you use that knockoff in your brand new, you voided the warranty from the factory. So that's another thing that you have to consider why it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
The factory won't.
If it voids the warranty, that should be kind of a red flag that you shouldn't use it.
Exactly. Because there's just so many issues with them. So that's the 14 inch. So maybe you want something a little larger. We have the 15.6 inch Dell Latitude 3520. And this is 11th gen, so and this one's fast.
This is one of my favorite 15-inch laptops that we have in the store right now.
It's just a great deal. This is over $1,000 laptop that we have for $499.99. Has 16 gig of RAM, a brand new 256 gig solid state drive, Windows 11 Pro. It's just $500. It's just
you can't beat that.
You just can't. Especially for the quality of the refurbishment that goes on in our laptops. Then maybe you're an HP fan. And so, we have a lot of HP laptops also. We like selling the Dells and the HPs more than any of them. And then Lenovo also. But, we sell the business class HP and Dell laptops and also the Lenovo business class. Other manufacturers, not really another manufacturer out there that makes a business class laptop, right?
No.
So all the other brands you see out there, I'm not going to name them all. There's lots of them. All the other brands out there, there's no business class laptop. And a business class laptop means a lot. It means an upgraded motherboard. It means the hinges on your laptop aren't going to fall apart. It means that it's going to last you a lot longer. It's a much sturdier device. So here's an HP EliteBook X360. So when you hear EliteBook from HP, that means that is one of their business class laptops. When you hear X360 from HP and their name, then that means it flips around 360 degrees. It's a 2-in-1 touchscreen laptop. And this is a X360 G8 11th generation i7 processor, 16 gig of RAM, a brand new 256 gig solid state drive. These have those NVMe solid state drives too.
The fastest available in the market are these NVMe drives. The way that they connect to the board just allows it to just communicate information so much faster than your conventional SATA connection, for example.
So, so they have the old mechanical hard drives, and then they have what a lot of people recognize as the replacement for those is a little 2.5-inch solid state drive.
Yep.
And the difference between those and speed is like the 2.5-inch solid state drives is easily 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Than the regular old hard drives. The NVMe, which is the next step up from the 2.5-inch solid-state drive, is mounted directly on the motherboard.
Yeah, there's no cables running for the data transfer, so you don't have to. You're not bogged down by that connection. You're right there on the board.
And those are going to be 10 to 20 times faster than even the solid-state drive in the 2.5-inch.
Yeah.
So much faster access to the data that's stored on there, and the whole thing runs just much quicker. So the EliteBook X360 that I'm talking about has that type of solid-state drive in there.
Yeah.
So it's easily 30 to 40 times faster than a regular old hard drive.
And a good way to think about it, too, is the storage that's on your phone is actually very similar tech-specific-wise to an NVMe drive. So how fast your phone can be and how responsive it is, your computer kind of is responsive like that as well with an NVMe drive.
And I'm going to get to the price of this one in a minute, but I just wanted to expand that thought a little bit more. Is one of the things that makes it so fast is not only the device itself, is because you had already mentioned there's no cabling involved. It's a direct plug into the motherboard.
Yeah.
And it's strategically located on the motherboard closer to the CPU. Why is that? And that's just another way to give it, microseconds of speed faster, which is critical. It could be critical. And so this EliteBook X360 is a 13.2-inch, 2-in-1 touchscreen laptop. Again, i7, 11th gen processor, 16 gig of RAM, brand new 256 gig NVMe solid-state drive. It's $629.99. This is a $1,400 laptop.
Yeah, if that. It could be even more.
Even more. These have gone up to over $2,000. And so we have them for $629.99 at Refresh Computers. Do you need a $630 laptop? No, most people don't.
No.
I'm going to throw that out there, all right, just to show you how sincere I am. But I'm telling you what, if you want one that's really nice, a 2-in-1 convertible laptop, a recent generation i7 processor that has that NVMe drive, this is a deal for $630, $629.99. And again, you can get those at Refresh Computers by going right to our website. You can buy right there and say, I'm going to pick up in the store. And typically we'll have it ready by the time you can get to the store. We'll typically give you a call or send you a message, let you know it's ready for pickup when you buy it online. So maybe you need a desktop. So I'm going to go to a Lenovo all-in-one touchscreen laptop, 24-inch touchscreen, so a little bigger than your 21-inch touchscreen or your 21-inch all-in-one computers that you are used to seeing. This is a 24-inch touchscreen, and what I love about this is it's the borderless. It's borderless.
Yeah, the screen goes basically right to the edge. There's very minimal bezel on the side there.
So even though it's a 24-inch touchscreen all-in-one computer, it fits in a smaller space because you don't have that bezel of a quarter of an inch or half an inch sticking out on the sides and on the top. The only place you have any kind of bezels at the bottom, because that's basically where the screen actually rests. Yeah, and the speakers and all that stuff are down there as well. So it's a Lenovo Idea Center 3, 24-inch touch all-in-one computer, i5 processor. It's $399.99. And you know what's also special about this one?
What's special about this one?
It comes with a genuine Lenovo wireless keyboard and mouse combo for $399.99.
So you're getting a whole package working computer deal. Don't have to worry about any accessories. Just this right here could be it.
With the genuine Lenovo wireless keyboard and mouse. We sell a Dell equivalent to that wireless keyboard and mouse. It's called the Dell Pro wireless keyboard and mouse combo, and they go for $60 by themselves. So you get that included with this Lenovo Idea Center 3. So maybe you need a desktop. So I'm going to give you a desktop here that has been, very popular in the store. It's a Dell Optiplex 3070 i5 processor, 16 gig of RAM, brand new 256 gig solid state drive. It's a small form factor, so it's about 13 inches by 13 inches by about 3.5 inches deep or wide. Windows 11 Pro, of course. All of these computers and laptops I'm mentioning now are Windows 11, and we hope that you would consider one of these for your update if you have an old Windows 10 machine. This one is $269.99. This is a $900 desktop for $269.99. You just can't beat these deals at Refresh Computers.
And again, you can find all these deals on the website. Just head over to refreshcomputers.net. Or if you want to get your hands on some of these machines, head over to the Superstore right there in Longwood. You've been listening to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Hey there, and welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200, or you can also check out the website over at refreshcomputers.net. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. You know, we talked about a lot of things before we got to this point concerning Windows 11 and Windows 10 and Microsoft doing secret updates and all this kind of stuff. If you missed any of that, you can go to our podcast by going to refreshcomputers.net, click on that podcast link, and listen to the show in its entirety. So in this last segment here, we like to talk about businesses who have recently done business with Refresh Computers, and I'm going to turn it over to Adam.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite segments, honestly, of the show, that we have a little shout out to these businesses that have done business with us. So we had Internal Title Services, Inc. They purchased a couple USB cables from us, as well as a new Apple 30-watt charger, a genuine Apple 30-watt charger. So that's the big difference there, is genuine, like we were talking about earlier. We also had Creative Concepts of Orlando. They came by and purchased one of our Dell Latitude 3520 laptops that we spoke about earlier in the deals. Again, one of my favorite laptops. We had the Knitting Patch come in. We helped them fix up some QuickBook issues they were having on one of their systems for their business. So great to get that working for them again.
Yeah, Casper, our store manager, is pretty good with QuickBooks. So if you have some QuickBook issues,
he's the man to go to.
Definitely.
Now a QuickBooks helpline as well. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We also had Rocketown Church, Inc. They had us reinstall just a fresh copy of Windows on one of their computers, pretty much just resetting it back to default entirely with a new installation, so there's no corruption or anything like that.
Sometimes that's the best way to go.
It is. We had CTC Property Research. They had us replace the LCD panel on one of their laptops that they left with us, and that's one of the many services we offer, our laptop repairs, as far as hardware, like the keyboards, the screens, anything like that.
DC Jack with the power.
Yeah, DC Jack is one of the big ones right now.
Yeah, people are always leaving their power adapters plugged in, go to grab their laptop, and oops, I forgot to take my power adapter out. And
or the dog goes running by and just yanks it off the table with it.
Or your 2-year-old goes running by and yanks it off the table. Not speaking from experience or anything.
We had Armor Hill and Company Incorporated. They purchased one of our genuine HP laptop chargers. They also got a nice little headset. I believe it was a nice little desk headset for their work. And they also got one of our Dell wireless mouse and keyboard combos. That's the Dell professional ones that we were mentioning just a little bit ago. We had the Professional Wrecker Operators of Florida come in and purchase one of our HP EliteDesk 800 systems. They also got a 1 terabyte upgrade on that system, and that's one of the big upgrades we can do is storage on any of our systems.
Yeah, RAM, solid state drives. You know, we have all that right in the store.
Yeah.
So we have all the way up to 4 terabytes of solid state drives available right there in the store if you want to update any of these to more RAM or more storage.
Yeah, and that's something we can do right there while you wait normally. We also had Your Neighborhood Lawn Service. They came by and had us order one of a genuine Dell replacement battery for their laptop, and I remember actually popping the back off of that, and it had a little bit of that spicy pillow look going on. It was a little swollen up, so it was definitely time for them. We had RCP LLC. we went ahead and just did a couple data transfers for them, moving some data around in their system, and they wanted to make sure it was done right, so we went through and made sure we got that done for them. We also had Al's Window Cleaning. They purchased one of our Dell Latitude 5501 laptops and got a 2-year extended warranty on that system as well.
That's right. And, and all of our computers and laptops come standard with a 90-day warranty from Refresh Computers. But we also offer 1-year, 2-year, and 3-year warranties at very, very, very reasonable prices that extends your warranty beyond the 90 days to an additional 1, 2, or 3 years. So that's about all we're going to have time for today, folks, and we appreciate you listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. Don't forget that free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. This is David Leavitt, owner and founder of Refresh Computers. We'll be talking to you again next week.